Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for stopping by, keeping me company as usual. If you're here with me for the first time, welcome, welcome. Please remember to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content and find it informative, as well as share as widely as possible. And also feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. And of course, I want to thank you for liking and sharing as well. If you are my subscribers, welcome back. Always lovely to have you. I do appreciate you guys greatly, as you know. Yes. And of course, you know the ropes, right? You're going to give the video a thumbs up from now on. Yes, you've been doing very nicely. Almost every video I have over 1,000 likes, and I want to tell you guys I appreciate your efforts very greatly. Believe it or not, the likes assist the channel in being recommended to other persons on YouTube so that we can spread the word and spread the message. So this is why it's so important that you give the video a like. The comments are also helpful because the algorithm of YouTube, what it does, if it sees that persons are interested and interacting with a video, they were more likely to recommend it. You don't want to waste people's time with things when nobody no want to watch. Not true. That's right. So that's why it is so helpful and nice and kind of you all to make your comments in the comment section. Share the video as well as give the video a thumbs up. And of course, I want to thank you all in advance. Yes. Now, if I have not yet told you Happy New Year, I want to tell you Happy New Year. Now, the reason why I don't do the Happy New Year, I don't initiate it per se, although I did do so sometimes. Yes, sometimes I send it to my friends and so on. But I'm one of those persons who believe in going back to my roots, even though I don't know what it is, but I am not adverse to finding out. The celebration of the New Year, January 1, is one of the most ridiculous things when you understand what the New Year is. The New Year is supposed to be the beginning. And on the continent, September, during the month of September, is usually when they celebrate the New Year, because that's when they say that the flowers, it start to bloom after the dry period. It start blooming again, and everything look fresh. And so they consider that the beginning of the new year, not the beginning of winter, as this idiotic Gregorian calendar, is celebrating. So eventually, I think this will be the last time I will be wishing anybody Happy New Year. At this time of the year, I'm putting my peeps and everyone on notice that come September, I will check to see when in September, because I think it varies. The Ethiopians are the ones that are keeping the ancient calendar from Kemet. And there are other persons. They all have their own calendar, because if they're going to be aging people and calling them elders, and when they mature, they have to have something that they're using. Just that the European, when them go down there to talk to them about them, show all kind of foolishness, and no one we know that, right? Good. So this year will be the final year. I'll be wishing anybody any Happy New Year. And when the new year comes in September, I'll wish you all Happy New Year. And I hope that we are going to be eventually starting something here. Because what I find on the continent especially is also chatting. Them just chat about what needs to be done, and nobody's doing it. What is so hard about producing a calendar that everybody can follow? Let the government do what they want to do, and let us do what we want to do. Don't you agree? Anyway, I did not call you here today to talk about the calendar. It is the 0.4% man. Yes, the English man. We are here to discuss. Cliff Hughes brought a news item, Nationwide News Network, with the headline, Golding accuses Holness of using courts to undermine Integrity Commission. And this was published on the 7th of January 2025. So when I see things like this, I must respond. Because if you see things like this, you're going to be wondering, what is he talking about? The risers will be there thinking that he's saying something that makes sense. PNP will be there perhaps thinking that he might be saying something that makes sense. And those who are not really following the politics, but they read what these people have to say, may think what he's saying makes sense. And so we're going to check to see whether or not it really makes sense or is it nonsense. Golding accuses Holness of using courts to undermine Integrity Commission. What I'm going to do, I am going to bring you the news item, and then I'm going to bring you some startling piece of information, which you may already know, as well as it may be that you don't know. But if you don't know, then we are going to discover something today. So let us listen to what her name is Colesia, right? Reported about what it is that this Englishman had to say. And then I'll rejoin you with my tuppence worth. So let me read what she has to say at the beginning. Opposition leader Mark Golding has accused Prime Minister Andrew Holness of seeking to use the courts to undermine the country's anti-corruption framework. Mr. Golding launched the broadside against Dr. Holness while addressing People's National Party supporters in East Rural St. Andrew on the weekend. Colesia Wright has more in this report.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has obtained leave to seek judicial review of a controversial Integrity Commission report into his financial affairs. Despite finding no wrongdoing on the part of the Prime Minister, the Integrity Commission has sought the intervention of the Financial Investigative Division (FID) to further probe Holness's finances. The Prime Minister says the entire process has been irregular and amounts to a breach of his rights, prompting him to seek remedy from the courts. But according to Golding, Holness's efforts could have more sinister effects on the Integrity Commission.
The commissioners were put in place under his government, and he is trying to strike down the law itself that establishes the Integrity Commission. In other words, he is trying to use the courts of Jamaica to undermine the anti-corruption framework of Jamaica, including the offense of illicit enrichment, for which he is being investigated. As my brethren Damon Crawford would say, what can go so?
Golding used his visit to East Rural St. Andrew to shore up the prospects of Patrick Peter King, who is seeking to unseat the House Speaker Juliet Holness in the general election expected later this year. Holness is the wife of the Prime Minister. She's represented East Rural St. Andrew since February 2016. Mr. Golding claims the Jamaican people are tired of what he describes as a government that has not proven itself worthy of public trust. He slammed Holness's efforts to overturn the Integrity Commission's report.
After 9 years of Labour Party rule, the people of Jamaica are fed up. They are disgusted with the government. They are disgusted with leadership which can't prove itself to be worthy of our trust and confidence. We have a Prime Minister whose own personal finances and the declarations he has filed cannot be certified by the country's Integrity Commission. It's a shame and disgrace on Jamaica to have a leader in government in that situation. He's even taking the Integrity Commission to court to strike down the very law that was passed under his government, even though it's we designed it and we brought it to Parliament originally, but it was passed by him and his government.
The PMP last held East Rural St. Andrew from 2011 to 2016 when Damian Crawford served as Member of Parliament. Colesia Wright for Nationwide News.
Now, of all the things that was said in that report, here is the piece that interested me the most. I found it most interesting indeed.
After 9 years of Labour Party rule, the people of Jamaica are fed up. They are disgusted with the government. They are disgusted with leadership which can't prove itself to be worthy of our trust and confidence.
But if you think that's interesting, this one is even more interesting. This was a post on the Karen Cross's latest live. And it's written by somebody calling themselves what it appears to be Nancy, right? Nancy. And Nancy said, I don't understand the current prime minister grew Jamaica poverty rate from 13% to 23% that caused Jamaica to become the Caribbean's second poorest Caribbean nation. And you want Jamaica to get together to vote back a destruction like Holness back into power? Holness greet Jamaican with a New Year's increase of gas prices. Currently, his price, I don't know what that is. Oh, currently gas price is going down all over the world. You are a good looking woman, but I disagree with you. Holness function like a colonial governor. He has no feeling for the people. Jamaican can't even go to certain beaches in their own country courtesy of Holness. This did not happen in Jamaica since the 1940s. You should switch alignment and call on all Jamaicans to vote out the destructive prime minister in the name of national and racial pride. No. Why I say this one is interesting is the lengths to which these risers will go. They have nothing apparently to talk about. Apparently nothing now go on that them can talk about, so them have to make up stories. Right? So it was a reference though to the poverty rate. That was what caught my attention. And I said, what? 23%? 13 to 23%? Let me go check out this thing. And my peeps, I want to tell Mr. Nancy, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Because you caused us here to go and do some research which should have been done a long time ago. But I keep putting it off because there's so much excitement going on. Otherwise, yes, man. So, thank you for drawing our attention to this. According to you, I don't understand the current Prime Minister grew Jamaica poverty rate from 13% to 23%. And this seems to be now the new attack line. At this date, tell enough to come tell people that the economy is floundering, but the poverty is going up. Is that them tell it to come tell people? But I don't understand who no risers. Who no don't know that facts are out there. And people do them research and find out how the thing really go. So let us have a look and see if you're right. Whether the poverty rate now stands at 23%. Let's check and see what the facts are. So since we know that some of you risers are foreign-minded, since you now love English people, I thought that maybe it might be useful rather than bring the information from PIOJ, I'll bring it from the World Bank. Yes, we love foreign people. We don't think foreign people better than we local people. That's why uno there clap at the conference when Marky G, Uno G, I tell uno say him go bring people from diaspora to sit down in the Senate and make laws for us that they don't have to be subjected to. When them mash up a country, though, them just jump on a plane and go back to where they come from. While we don't have to pay the penalty, and that we no want. So since we no foreign-minded and we no love, we no Englishman, right, and slave master, here is what the World Bank says. The World Bank in Jamaica, as its neighbors across the Caribbean, Jamaica is vulnerable to extreme weather events and climate change. Over the last 30 years, Jamaica suffered high debt and low growth as the country continues implementing an ambitious program of economic reforms. Jamaica's economy has begun to revive. That's their opinion. So I'm not going to read the entire article, but I'm just going to read the spot that we are interested in. The share of Jamaicans living below the upper middle income international poverty line of $6.85 US per day is estimated to have dropped from 13.9% in 2021 to 12.3% in 2023. This likely reflects continued employment growth as poverty and unemployment have moved in tandem throughout the last 2 decades. Now, what is it that they are saying? All right, I will continue reading and then I get to the bottom of it and then we can then analyze what they are saying. So they go on to say the unemployment rate stood at 5.4% in the first quarter of 2024. So the unemployment rate stood at 5% in the first quarter of 2024. Yet job quality remains a concern. Around half of non-agricultural jobs are informal. And this this article, I suppose, was last updated November 19, 2024. So it's not long ago. So let us do the analysis now. First of all, they're talking about the group of Jamaicans that they said are below the upper middle income international poverty line of $6.85 US per day. Question is, how much is that in Jamaican dollars per day? And we're going to calculate it to see what the hourly rate is. And when you divide $6.85 US by 8 hours, because you're talking about a day, and a day has working hours of 8, right? 8 working hours. So when you do that division, what you get is 86 US cents. So they're calling now below the poverty line for persons who fall into the category that they call upper middle income international poverty line. Now, upper middle income is what we have in Jamaica. We call rich people. So I don't understand this. Below the upper middle income international poverty line of $6.86 per day. Anyway, my peeps, I don't know what they are talking about, but as it turns out, 86 cents per hour is what they're calling the poverty line. You earn anything below that, then you are earning below the poverty line. You follow? Great. So how much is it now that we pay Jamaicans here? We pay our people minimum wage of $15,000 per week. When you divide $15,000 by 40-hour week and then convert that into US by dividing by $155 to 1, what you get is $2.42 US per hour. That is what our minimum wage workers are earning. $2.42 per hour. Well above what would be considered below the poverty line. So, based upon what the World Bank is saying, by international standard, our people here in Jamaica who are earning minimum wages are considered upper middle income people. Going by international standard, of course, that may well be the case, but as you know, a dollar is not a dollar, right? 15,000 Jamaican dollars is 96 US dollars per week. US dollars. So it's not a great deal of money. But what is, of course, when it comes to money, what is essential is the cost of living. That is what now renders the money, as some people would say, can't buy nothing, right? Or at any rate, can't buy what it was buying before. Yes. So that is the case. Now, what the World Bank is saying, the mission that is here in Jamaica, that our minimum wage is well above, more than twice, what is considered the poverty line by international standard. Also, the number of persons that they are saying who are earning below the poverty line of 86 US cents per hour in Jamaica, they said dropped from 13.9% in 2021 to 12.3% in 2023. And there's another article elsewhere where they estimated that it should fall further to 11.4%. But no estimate. We want to know what it is that they calculated it to be. So we don't have that information yet. And furthermore, there was the matter of Miss Beryl, and she might have thrown some people, yes, and make things bad for them. So chances are it may have gone up a little. We don't know because the government was giving out things, and those things that the government was giving out would have gone to shore up the position of persons and, keep them up above the poverty line in some instances, depending on how many persons they were able to reach and how they offered assistance. You follow? Great. So in 2023, the last data that we have is that the poverty rate in Jamaica fell to 12.3%. So when these risers are out there, I want you to screenshot this if you can, my peeps, right? Or you can look up the information. I show you the title. And so all you have to do is just to type in the search engine, Jamaica's poverty line, and the article will come up by the World Bank, and you will see others, including the PIOJ. As a matter of fact, while these risers are foreign-minded, the World Bank is Jamaican-minded, because I'm sure the information that they were repeating, they got from the PIOJ, right? Who would have been the one to go and gather the information. So clearly they trust the information that is coming out of the PIOJ, and they therefore publish it, right? Great. So the poverty line in 2023 fell to how much, my peeps? 12.3%. Go into that article, screenshot it, and if you're on Twitter, anytime you see those risers turn up, because it's a new hit job now, pure lie. That's all them do. With all the things that is happening, them can't seem to be able to make them point without lying. Show the people, because this is how you're going to deal with them. This is how I deal with them. Whenever they come with them nonsense, I show the facts, and then they delete the nonsense so that the facts are not seen by others. Right? So when you see them with them nonsense, no, don't just talk and tell them it's 12.3%. Show them the article where it says it's 12.3%. Right? Now, let me tell you something about that 12.3%, because it is very instructive. Now, my peeps, all of us at some stage, all of us, especially when we leave school or we left school, we had to find jobs. Most of us, some of us went to university, and then even after that, you still have to go find a job, unless you went into the family business, which makes it easy for you. But in the case of others, when you're going out to find a job, especially if it's taking you a long time to find a job, you're living with family. You are dependent on that family. You have no money of your own. You can't spend money because you don't have money. Unless you have a little boyfriend, little girlfriend who are some family member who is assisting you, but then it's not your money. So you are technically poor and below the poverty line. You understand? At that stage. So you write up your resume and you send them all about the place and hoping for the best. And when you least expect it, a letter come. You go for your interview, you put on your best, and some persons are so poor that them best really not stays too good, but then try them best, and you know that impress a lot of employers. Yes, man, and quick to employ somebody like that. Because them sister them, them just want a little start in life, and chances are the boss was in the same position as that person. Yes, man. So you just dress up yourself and you look nice and you go on and smell as nice as you can. Comb your hair and thing, and you go for your job interview. And you talk up the things them and then look on you and them talk and then look at them staff and say, yeah man, this one will blend in with this staff, this one good. So them tell you, don't call us, we'll call you, and then they go discuss it. After that, you sit down and you wait and bam, you get a call. Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, I'm calling from such and such a place. And them tell you no, say that you are hired and you can come in, and when you can start, them all find out from you when you can start too. Then I'll go tell you if you come Monday. When can you start? And you tell them right away. Right? So them tell you all right, and you go on and you probably borrow one little money and buy your first suit and your shoes and thing because you earn money now. Now, the instant that you get that first paycheck, it is the instant that you left from out of poverty into a different income bracket. And if you happen to be somebody with a university degree and you get one of them $1 million job there, well, that means to say you left out of poverty and in and turn millionaire. That is what it means. So when you see the poverty line is falling, matter of fact, I'm going to show you a figure now. I'm going to shock you. Now, this is a Jamaica poverty rate historical data. I am not sure if this is also from the World Bank, but you can type in the title Jamaica poverty rate historical data, and the search engine will find the document for you, right? And if you look at the bottom, they start from 1988, then 1990, 1993, 1996, 1999, 2002, 2004, 2018, and 2021. So they're spanning the end of Eddie's term and right through PJ's term. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right through the PNP's term. They have 6 indicators. Then now they have 2018, which is back to the JLP, and 2021, right? So look at what it says here. It says percentage under US dollars, $5.50 per day. And let me work that out into US dollars per day and tell you what it is in per hour. The mathematics is very simple. It's $5.50 per day. And to find the hourly rate, you divide that by 8 hours and you get 69 US cents. So you're talking about 69 US cents per hour. That is what now they are saying is a base figure for the poverty line. Below that, you're in poverty, they are saying, right? Great. So in 1988, the number of persons in Jamaica who were under the poverty line was 45.7%, while at the same time the unemployment rate was 19%. So by the time it's the PMP's turn in office in 1989, 1990 shows 49.5% were under the poverty line. That's nearly half of the population, my peeps. Then in 93, with all of what was going on with the economy in upheaval and inflation rates high, and there were some business failures, 64.4% of the people of the country were below the poverty line. And that was in 1993. So it went down to 42% in 96, 30% in 99. 2004 it was at 29%. Now, they skip ahead to 2018, where the persons under the poverty line fell to 9.1%. Then, by the time mass COVID passed through, it had increased to 13.9%, and now they're reporting that it's down to 12.3%. So when these risers are running around with them stories, made up stories, all they're doing is providing us with an opportunity to go and look up the correct information and bring it to the public. How does that serve their cause? I don't know, but they must know what they're about. Now, in terms of Mr. Mark and his remarks.
After 9 years of Labour Party rule, the people of Jamaica are fed up. They are disgusted with the government. They are disgusted with leadership which can't prove itself to be worthy of our trust and confidence.
Now, unless the people in Jamaica have changed, and as far as I know, them same one keep voting each time, I don't believe that the people are going to be making their choice based upon whether or not this is smaddy thief or that the smaddy corrupt. Had that been the case, there is no way PJ Patterson could have won any election in Jamaica. Not because him thief and corrupt, but because people perceived him as thief and corrupt. Most people will speak about also that Siaga was demonized, but don't forget that PJ was also pillared and demonized, right? Called all sorts of names that they know Jamaican people will not, well, support, right? And despite that, despite being so demonized and perceived as a crook, as corrupt, and leading one of the most corrupt government in the history of Jamaica, well, not one of, the most corrupt, that was the perception. Every week or so, Audley used to come into the house talking about all of them overrun and thing. And still when the polls came around, who it is that the people voted for? PJ Patterson. Why? Because, as I said before, say in the 80s, right? You go into a store and you're trying to buy a jeans pants, it's $1,300. This at a time when the money was at something in the order of $7, between $5.50 and $7 Jamaican to $1 US. Right? You see how high the price was? Some of these were made in Jamaica, went to Florida, rejected and came back. So they never in the tan good. One of the most important pieces of legislation ever to pass in this country is the Fair Competition Act. That is a foundation act that ensures that people can gang together and conspire against the consumers to fix prices in an artificial way against their own interests. They have to compete. When the Fair Competition Act was introduced and the economy was deregulated September of 1991, saw a new door of opportunities opening up. People can now go abroad, go anywhere in the world that, they can get a bargain. So for argument's sake, the India may make the cheapest clothing, or they may make the cheapest this or that, or it may be that there is a glut of something in one country and they're selling it for little and nothing. They then go and buy and bring it. People like Gazana, Zana, and all them merchants, they would bring in clothes, and jeans pants fell from the dizzying height of $1,300 all the way down to $200. Nice pair of jeans pants, fix good and tan good pon the people. Them look nice. And then you have Sammy's shoes for $100. Nice little shoes, Everybody have it on them foot. Now them days, I'm telling you, my peeps. For those of you who may not be old enough to remember, or just maybe you weren't born yet. What exactly was it that I just described to you, my peeps? What I just described to you was a situation where you needed more Jamaican dollars to buy a jeans pants in the 80s, late 80s. And that same money, that $1,300, could not only buy one jeans pants, but during the 90s, when all that was going on, it could also buy you 6 jeans pants, and you still have change to go home with. That was what happened because of the Competition Act and the deregulation, and these business people were prepared to go all about and find bargain deals and bring home to the Jamaican people so poor people can wear clothes and look good and wear shoes and look nice and all them kind of things there. In other words, the money that they had in their hand could buy more than it used to buy under the previous administration. That is how poor people look at these things. It is they are the smartest one of them all. They know that what is important is the currency and what the currency can buy. That is what determines whether you're richer or you're poorer. So if the money that they had in their hand, the same Jamaican dollar could buy more in the 90s because of competition, then they became richer even though they're poor. You follow me, my peeps? And that was what kept PJ in office for so long. That was what kept the PNP in power for 4 consecutive election cycles from 1989 until 2007 and barely lost though in 2007. So the long and short of what I'm telling you is this. If the people find themselves who were in poverty, find themselves with jobs, they are instantly taken out of poverty because they're going to be now paid minimum wage of $15,000. If it's a part-time job, it might be less, but they can do multiple part-time jobs. So the fact that the poverty rate is falling and is now down to 12.4% from 13.9 in 2021 to 12.3% in 2023 is telling you that the people are much better off than they certainly were in 1988 or any time at all in early 2000. So we don't have the benefit, of course, of the data of what the poverty rate was like when the PNP was in power here, but the sufficient point can be made from what we have. It's not about the parties, really. It's about a point that I'm trying to make. When the Englishman said that the people are tired and fed up of Andrew Holness, we must now ask the question, which people is he talking about? Which people? Because to the extent that these persons are getting jobs, I know they are going to be crediting the government. Just as when there are no jobs and the unemployment is high and the poverty and the cost of living, the government gets the blame. So I ask again, is which people I'm talking about tired of Andrew Holness and don't want him there anymore when you look at figures like this? People who are below the poverty line are now stands at 12.3%. And my peeps, this is not accidental. It is the policies that were being pursued by the government that would have brought it about. The fact that they increased the minimum wage, more than double it in fact, from $6,200 per week to now $15,000. It moved from $1.51 US per hour to now $2.42 US per hour. So this is an increase in real terms. Are you following me, my peeps? Yes, it's not just a matter of Jamaican dollar increase, but when you convert to US, you see that it's a real increase. Of course, there is a problem of the high cost of living, and oddly enough, Mr. Donaldson poll, incredulous though they may be, is startling in some ways because even as some people are complaining about the high cost of living, clearly those who are shopping in the supermarkets, the people are finding 21% of them, according to Don Anderson, are saying the high cost of living is a problem to them, which is an extraordinary thing, right? Which means that you can still go places and get things cheaper and therefore get your money stretched. So I am saying this to say to the Englishman, well, not the Englishman, because he might try something, but to say to you, my peeps, that the people of Jamaica do not make the decision about who them going vote for or who them want to be there based up on whether they thief or they corrupt. They never have, right? Whatever the facts or the perception may be, that is not how them vote. They will keep a man there who they see is making them life easier, because that is part of the problem with people who are poor. Life tough, them stress out, can't find food, can't find bus fare, can't find food and bus fare for them children, can't send them children go school. And them things them have to grapple with the little money when them get, even though them say them working. So if the situation the poor people are now in, the 83% of the people who are getting minimum wages and less, is them are the key, because them in a the vast majority and them vote. And if their living conditions have increased for the better, then I don't know what Englishman going and demonizing Andrew Holness is not going to help them. They have to come with some bigger and better plan, like what Bruce came with. Because even those things were happening in the 90s and so on, and the poor people could still make them way. Bruce was able to come with something to tell the people, and then decide to give him a chance. No, I know you're nobody. I give this Englishman a chance more than PNP people at all, but them are going to put this white man to run Jamaica. And them time come now, and the power of the dream. I don't know what that have to do with people. I don't know what kind of message them there. Right? Them are the only one you hear about them things, and now I not hearing out on the street anybody talking about giving anybody a chance. Just listen to this panicky response from a man who finally understands how far underwater he is. He has been played, outfoxed, outmaneuvered, and is now wading in deep waters without any rescue in sight. Listen to the panic in his voice.
After 9 years of Labour Party rule, the people of Jamaica are fed up. They are disgusted with the government. They are disgusted with leadership which can't prove itself to be worthy of our trust and confidence.
You heard that tone? Yes, man. Panic. So they have to come up with something that way makes sense to the people if them want to turn this thing around, them risers. If they can't, then them going down, and them going carry the PNP down with them, and they will have nobody to blame but themselves. And just in case the Englishman didn't get it, I want you to pay close attention to the 1990s. You see, 1993, the poverty rate was 64.4%, 42.8% 96, 30.4% 99, 33%. You see them right there? And still the people was voting in the People's National Party. So I asked the question again of the Englishman, is who you are talking about say tired of the Prime Minister, Master? Who? 64.4% under the poverty line. And still them turn up and voted for the PNP 4 consecutive terms. Much less now, when the poverty rate is down to 12.3%. The minimum wage has more than doubled. In real terms, it has almost doubled. Only 21% is complaining about the high cost of living. Unemployment down to what? Under 4%? The government engaging in what would be a historic tax give back. It occurs in the United States when the people in the US overpay their taxes. My understanding is the IRS give them back, right? And what is happening here is the government is also giving back some of the taxes. Well, it seems that we have overpaid. They have $5.6 billion in the NIR. Again, that is excess tax that they're collecting. And what they're doing is giving back the people, right? The taxpayers. That's why they give it to the taxpayers first. Taxes that they have overpaid. Must have been the case, because where would they have gotten the money from except from excess collection of revenue above what was budgeted? They're also offering to give some of that excess to persons who are not taxpayers. Those persons presumably were not working. The poor and indigent people, I do believe. I mean, you can understand why the Englishman, that traitor and deceiver, is in such a state of panic. He has no plans, no visions, nothing to offer the people, and what is more, he's not wanted nor welcome by the people. Anyway, my peeps, I'm going to leave it here for today. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing, liking, subscribing, and leaving your comment in the comment section. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and walk good.